Yo, what's up, relatives? Gimme Chipili, Six Sun Riders here again, back again. As you know, Dia de los Muertos is a revered Mexican holiday. Do you think it's okay for white people and other non natives, non Mexicans to celebrate our holiday? Our holiday is a powerful tool for Indigenous and Chicano social and spiritual empowerment. But we need to talk about the social and political nuances of it and how to make sure our cultural lifeways are being respected and that we're stepping up to be the leaders and guardians of our beautiful traditions. A quick heads up, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as a note, too, I'm always trying to improve my game here. So today I'm working with the teleprompter, so forgive me if my delivery is a little boxy. Let me know what's up. Also, I'm going to get to sharing more native teachings soon, like I promised before. I wasn't planning on making my content about social hot topics, but there's just way too many good topics happening right now that we can cover. And hopefully remember that one of the primary goals and priorities of Six Sun Riders is to offer ideas and solutions on how to implement important indigenous slash Chicano concepts, teachings, and social political priorities into our lives and our community spaces. So here we go. Can white people or non-native Mexicans celebrate Dia de los Muertos?
Wow, I totally love Mexican Halloween.
So again, this is an offering of ideas and considerations to get a conversation going, in hopes that we can generate more ideas and solutions for advancing our indigenous self-determination. So here's a list of 6 things to consider while you're watching this video. Number 1, the idea that Chicanos' cultural expressions, values, and traditions rooted in indigenous knowledge are powerful forces capable of steering people and culture in a positive direction, and how powerful and important we are as individuals within that culture. Number 2, the imperative for natives and Chicanos to take on leadership roles in preserving, defining, and guiding our traditions and protecting them. Number 3, remembering the commitment to be of substance, not just to be about the aesthetics and bumper stickers, phrases, and all that. Rather, stepping up to our knowledge of self and traditions beyond the aesthetics and identity politics. Number 4, claiming and asserting responsibility for our history and culture. If we don't, someone else will. Trust. Number 5, claiming indigenous comes with responsibility and understanding that whether we like politics or not, our existence and everything about us as Native people on occupied lands has political connotations. Number 6, how white supremacy and capitalism are connected, intertwined, and how we can share our culture while being vigilant about how to protect it from capitalism, tokenization, and whitewashing. I really encourage you to familiarize yourself with Google to learn more about this. Eventually, we'll do a video on this critical standard, which I feel is a must for all activists and cultural workers and defenders. So it's not the intention of this video to go into an explanation of the holiday. There's already so many videos out there about that already. But just to give context for our purposes here, we're going to go through a quick recap of Dia de los Muertos facts. So number 1, Dia de los Muertos is an indigenous holiday, not a Latino holiday, not a Hispanic holiday, but a Mexican indigenous holiday. Number 2, Dia de los Muertos originally took place over a span of 2 months, but more accurately 2 Xiuhpohualli, which are considered 2 Aztec months, if you will, which consisted of 20 days each. Micaluitontli, which means a little feast of the dead, and Way Micaluit, great feast of the dead. And part of my pronunciation, I'm a little rusty with my now out right now. Number 3, the colonizers chopped the holiday down to 1 day and made it to coincide with the Catholic All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Number 4, Chicanos revitalized Dia de los Muertos in the 1970s as a tool for cultural pride and social political empowerment. That movement also transformed the holiday into a popular cultural event nationwide, which also sparked renewed interest in Pride in Mexico. So this Chicano-led revival of the holiday reinforced the indigenous significance and inspired cross-border / pan-Mexican appreciation and reconnection. The brother Clary Tlapoyawa has a great episode on his podcast touching on this topic, and I'll be sure to put that link in the caption, so check that out. So as far as my personal views on whether or not Mexican or non-natives should participate, I don't really have an issue with white folks or others taking part in our Dia de los Muertos holiday, as long as they're sincere and respectful and participating. I think what's most important is that Mexicans need to assert and maintain our creative and economic control of the holiday. Don't forget, Chicano GDP is now 3.4 trillion. If you don't know what that is, GDP, I put a link in the caption below. It basically means we're an economic powerhouse and growing, and we need to step up to that and control that direction of our economic power and do it in a way that's rooted in our indigenous values and resist any inclinations to just be a cheap, brown, carbon copy of colonizer capitalism and ideals, which is why there's extra attacks on us to Latinize us and whitewash us. We also need to be sure to protect and a holiday's cultural integrity as it grows. So across the world, many nations and cultures already have similar ceremonies and holidays honoring their ancestors, and which share similar common themes to remembrance and connections with their ancestors, just like Dia de los Muertos. So as our holiday grows in recognition, we have a unique opportunity to act as cultural hosts, invite others to witness and respectfully engage with the medicine of our holiday, thereby stepping up to our role as caretakers of our continent. So, we don't have all the answers on how we, as a Pueblo Chicano, the Mexican contingent of Native Americans, can do that exactly. But again, we're here to share ideas and brainstorm with each other. The following are some concerns that come to mind for me when this holiday comes up, and as well as some brief mentions of how we can possibly deter any harm. All these lists, right? I got all these lists here, but we're all about teaching and education here, so let's do it. So number one, cultural appropriation. So maybe I notice it more because I live in a hyper gentrified area. I don't know, but many of these gentrified businesses are promoting the holiday and they're mixing it with Halloween, as well as not working with or benefiting or supporting the dwindling brown community here. It's just pure exploitation and appropriation. Number two, we need to do our best to be at community meetings or keep an eye out for businesses and institutions who might be misguided and be vocal wherever we see misinformation or exploitation. Emails, phone calls, etc. are a good start. And don't be fooled even if some of these people claim to be Latino or Hispanic, because it's also a thing where white Latinos with no cultural continuity to Mesoamerica try to exploit brown people and think they can get a pass just because they're quote unquote Latino. Also, unfortunately, we have our sellouts too. So, we gotta be on our toes. Three, Latinization is also another big issue. You'll often hear about people referring to the holiday as a Latino holiday or Hispanic holiday, but we can respectfully remind people that it's actually an indigenous Mexican holiday. Number four, conflating Dia de los Muertos with Halloween. Even though it does bear some similarities, it's important to distinguish the holidays. Politely correct or challenge people, businesses, or organizations who conflate or mix them up. Number five, corporate and non-native businesses exploiting the holiday. So I'm talking about places like Walmart, CVS, or large corporation type chains like that, as well as gentrified businesses, depending on where you are. A lot of places on the West Coast are being gentrified, so more likely than not, that's probably happening where you're at too. But again, be vocal however you can. Respectfully ask people to be better or get them to commit to offer their business space to native Mexican artists or artisans. If they don't budge, email them, make phone calls, put them on blast with Google and Yelp reviews. There's a lot of different ways to hold people accountable depending on your context. But message me if you need any help or ideas for your situation. Lastly, be preemptive. Some quick ideas. Make a list of local native Mexican artists and businesses to support. Maybe print a copy or a flyer and share it around town or post on social media, all the above, and encourage other people to do the same. Or try to create your own spaces or lotianguis to promote the holiday the right way and control and protect the economic and cultural well-being of your ancestors' holiday. It's also good to make some notes on how you would briefly explain it to someone who doesn't really know about the holiday. It's always good to be prepared. To close it up, other cultures, whether African, European, or Asian, they also have similar traditions like us, honoring those who've passed on. I think this universal theme allows us a pathway to assert ourselves as rightful leaders of culture and values on our continent, and to take our rightful places as leaders of righteousness and indigenous values. By that, we can help others steer away from the current harmful Wasichu colonizer mindsets. If you didn't know, Halloween, when it first arrived in the U.S., was deeply associated with the Irish and Catholic culture, making it marginalized by the dominant WASP culture. Over time, the strength of the culture won over the hearts and the minds of the masses, but largely through commercialization, a path we definitely want to avoid, and make sure our holiday doesn't become just another tool for advancing capitalism. Again, that's why it's important to understand white supremacy, its ties to capitalism, and how it can adversely affect and shape our social and economic hardships today. Like the Irish with Halloween, we also have the potential to influence American culture. But we need to step into our leadership as Indigenous people and be grounded in our history, traditions, and our values. By doing so, we could bring a positive remedy to counter the harmful effects of Eurocentric colonizer worldview and culture. So, how do you feel about non natives or non Mexicans celebrating Dia de los Muertos? And what ideas and actions have you planned for protecting our heritage and making sure it's being respected and advancing in a healthy direction? Let me know in the comments. And oh, yeah, don't forget to light a candle in the evening to spiritually compensate for the extra stuff that tends to happen when we have less sunlight during this time of the year. But again, thanks for tuning in and let me know what you think. And let's figure out some ideas and some solutions. Peace.